All right, guys, for everybody tuning in, we got the matchup we were looking for right away. The computer is fickle that way, so we've got world champion Doug Kinney and two-time world champion Paul Heaver. And I'll be putting the list information in now, and we'll be getting started here in a few minutes. I've got the feed up here, so if you guys are logged in and have questions, just put them in the chat, and I'll address them as they come up if I can. All right, they've just rolled for initiative, and Doug has won the roll, and he's going to take initiative. And just bear with me while I get this list info in. We've got a basic matchup here is Brobots. Paul is running 3 Talas, a Green A-Wing, and Poe Dameron.
Well, she was going to die anyway, but she died when she ran over to refill. Rolled a crit and got a break. But if she regardless of what happened there, she's going to have a reach 1 card on her, so it's been likely that she was going to Guys, and I apologize if it's a little bit of laggy. It's not a whole lot of control I have over that. Usually those issues will clean up on your end as it spools up. So hopefully you don't have too much trouble with that. So it looks like Doug has placed both of his IGs down there at the bottom of the map, and Paul has set up in a little grouping there at the top of the game board. And we're just getting ready to start time, and then we'll get to it. Okay, and IG88A is at the bottom of your screen.
officially start when this round ends. Lunch break will end at 2:30. Round 2 starting in 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, and that's time. So they're setting up their maneuvers, and we're going to get started here. And that's Paul's A-wing is going to go ahead and race down the map and boost.
Two world champions face each other in rounds.
Well, it works.
It'll be fine. Just I kind of wanted that to happen later
Later on.
in the rounds. Round 4 or 5 preferable.
Yeah. Here with our
Remember, January is merciless.
Here with Phil Lyons, our judge of TO, who has been gracious enough to help me set up here. He was just telling me he was kind of hoping he'd get this matchup a little later, but it is what it is.
Unfortunately, yes, the random generator takes no prisoners, just like the Empire.
Right.
So much people can't see me. I'm sitting here in
No.
officer's regalia, so
Yeah.
my imperial words are supposed to sound terrifying. I don't think I'm actually pulling it off.
No, he's pulling it off. Just can't see it. All right, so Paul has moved all of his talents also just straight down the edge of the map. Doug staggered his IGs a little bit, so when they do turn in, they'll be able to turn in level with each other. And here goes Poe, another move straight up. So, yeah, everybody's going fast, running up the side of the board. No shots, and on to the next turn. Oh, I forgot our details here on Paul's A-wing. Sorry about that.
I can roll 3 into the hit. Still not getting it. Excellent.
So all my no-name guys are going too far.
Okay.
And they all just get a focus.
So, Paul's raft of no-name pilots are going too forward again. So, now we'll see what Doug's queued up. Paul's opted to focus on all of his talents up there. And we got a bit of a turn in. His 88A is going to go through a 3-bank and boost, so he's coming around entirely. All right, so he's turned them both in now, online with each other.
So what's Poe do here? Does Poe lose? He can. Okay. He gets an eyeball.
All right, so Poe's going to focus as well, not quite having enough room to boost. And we're again back to dials.
Well, Paul's an unusual guy.
Everybody pretty quick with their maneuvers. Paul mulling over what to do with Poe. So everybody's maneuvers down, so here goes his green. And it looks like we're going to turn in and get ready to start shooting here. So his green is going to focus and evade, turtle up, anticipating a move in by these IGs. His talons are also turning in, so we should get some shooting here in a second. And Doug helping out with focuses all around. And here comes his 88A. Is going to 3-bank in. And if it's a little bit janky on Twitch, the Wi-Fi in here is I'm having a little trouble connecting to it, so I really can't see the stream very well. But this match will also go up onto YouTube later today, so it'll be a lot clearer. Okay, we had some CPU usages on my end that should have been corrected now. So the video coming out should clean up a little bit. Sorry about that.
Let's glitter. Let's be glittery.
All right, so both of Doug's IGs are going to go ahead and glitter stem this turn. Since he's got the HLC shots on the A-wing, I think he's going to go ahead and try and remove that trouble now. And a rough roll. But he's going to target lock.
And glitter stem with FCS, so he rolls 3 hits.
Oh, this is so annoying. So do I spend the thing, which then you'll...
Paul's rolled 2 evades and a focus, so he's debating what to do. His auto thruster roll. Now we're going to get a second secondary shot. And he pulls up 4 hits there. And he's got his wired reroll. Rolls up another focus. So the result of all that was the A-Wing is down 1 shield.
No, let's do primary shot.
Primary shot.
Primary shot. 3 versus 4.
He's opted to go ahead and shoot his primary here. 2 hits.
So game start is because I get the range bonus, so I actually roll 1 dice on this one. So you have to use your heavy laser cannon.
And he's going to take a second shot with his secondary HLC shot.
Control spots, right? English.
Okay.
All right, and that rolls him 4 hits with his glitter stem.
2 dice. So I dodge 1, take 3 and explode.
And crack shot gives him 3, and that's the A-Wing. So that's pretty well employed tactics with the immediate secondary shot and the HLC, and he scrubs that A-Wing off the board in the first round of shooting. Pretty good stuff.
True.
But he did.
Very stressed,
He stressed, and in order to accomplish that, he had to use both his crack shots and both his glitter stems. Oh, hey, Des. Thanks. It was a little choppy earlier. I'd forgotten I had the stream up on my PC in the background earlier, testing the audio, and that was crushing the processor a little bit. But it should be a little tighter now. All right, so it's okay. So it looks like all of us Talus are going to all be shooting at IG-88B on the left side of the screen there. Two hits.
Oh my God.
And he whiffs. He takes 2.
Takes 1.
Oh, it takes 1. Auto thrusters. And he rolls 2 hits. And those are evaded. So some better dice on that one. But he did get 1 through. And Doug did get rid of Paul's A-Wing, but he had to dump both glitter stems and both crack shots to get it done. Yeah, if it still looks laggy, because it's really clear on my end now. So if it still looks laggy coming out, that will hopefully clear up based on your connection. But it should be coming out of here pretty clear. Yeah, it immediately did. The video on my PC was really choppy when I was running
the feed in the background. I couldn't figure out what was going on. As soon as I closed Chrome, it sharpened right up. In fact, you should have been able to immediately tell on that end when I did it. All right, so maneuvers for turn 3 here. My guess would be that Paul is going to try get a bump and isolate one of these IGs here that he can focus and fire on. And there we go. So 3 hard from that talon. And he's going to go ahead and bank a target lock. He's going to target lock B. That's down 1 shield. There we go. So that was a blocker. We got some pea shooters moving in. Another target lock. All right, Paul has cluttered things up nicely. Let's see what we get. IG-88A is going to bank. So 1 bank to the right. So he is going to be right on top of, if not bumping. Let's see if he bumps. Does bump. And IG-80B is going to 1 bank to the left there as you're looking at it. And we're going to get a bump there as well. So, a little bumperoo, bumpity bump bump. And on the rock. A tough block. So I imagine Paul's got to like the way that worked out. And he rolled damage, so that IG is down 2 shields. And here comes Poe. So he's not really all that concerned about B immediately, so he can't shoot. Yep, IG-80B on the left side of your screen is sitting on a rock. Really nice. Okay. Paul lamenting a little bit that he can't shoot up B on that rock, but he did get, Poe got some damage in on A. And the bump. And one of his talents takes 1 damage on the return fire. Yeah, it was a really nice block. So he's got a range 2 shot that's obstructed through that rock into IG-88B. Debating now whether he should use a target lock when he's rolling against 4 dice for this IG-88B on this rock over here. He's going to hold on to it, so it's 1. He rolls 2 evades anyway. So he's got a range 1 shot from the middle talon. He's going to spend that target lock. And he whiffs. So no help from the talons outside the blocking. And we're done with the turn. So an interesting turn.
I believe we got 30 players in here today. So back to dials. A little bit of a shame that he couldn't really put it on IG-80B on that rock there, but cluttered things up nicely.
But you gotta stop that. Because you don't even need to spend the focus. Okay. Spend the focus. And I'm going to recover shield. Yeah, I mean, at the end phase, we have no shields and you're covered on shield, and you have a damage card. The sweet spot where you don't get the shield back and don't direct hit.
All our dials are just about down. Paul's rethinking a couple things. Paul is mulling over his maneuver for his Tala that's kind of wedged in the middle there. I think that's probably a good guess. Looks like IG-88A on the right side has a clean sloop to the right, so wouldn't surprise me if that's what we saw. I think Paul may K-turn the left Tala and try and block the sloop from IG-88B off that rock. So we may see that. But it'll be coming up here in a second. Phil. No, stay there. Nice. All right. So here we go. Oh, we've certainly some as well. Yep. And so here's the K-turn from that left Tala that I assumed was coming, and there it is. Not a whole lot of options. Looks like he's done a 3 to the right here. And he's going to purposely rock his Tala. Just put a picture of Phil up on Nova.
Oh, man.
He scowled and closed his eyes.
So, zero rocks. Okay for you.
called it. Looks like we're going to have a sloop to the right.
Yeah, because if you do with return, you're blocking my 4K, and I'm stressing down here. Yeah. At 3K blocks this one, so this is my
And right on cue, the other sloop to the right. I think.
Who is doing a talon roll? I don't know where that ends up.
Talon roll.
Nope. Man, I'm so bad at these games. That guy was not.
And a bumped talon roll.
Okay. I have like no shots and I'm facing the wrong way. And, yeah.
Paul has 2 talons on rocks, a bumped Poe, a stressed talon on the left. This could be a messy round for Paul.
He slips.
We've got an obstructed HLC shot into and 1 dodge. So 1 hit, 1 dodge. I am no longer able to see video. Are you guys seeing the same thing? So somehow, around where Paul had 1 shot from a stressed Z95 and a bunch of bumps and things on rocks, he managed to survive and put a couple hits on one of his IGs.
Okay, this time I will stop running into everything.
Paul has just decided that this round he'll not hit things and fly onto rocks. But I don't know. It didn't work out too bad for him last turn. So right now, we're looking at IG-88B that's on the left there is down to hull. We still got 3 shields on 88A on the right side of your screen.
Part of the plan was to have my guys narrowly dodge.
Yeah, A's down a couple shields. He has 3 shields left.
Not have my guys slam and jump along into them.
Sort of a complicated mess here this turn. Still deep in thought. I'm actually going to switch my feed viewer to my phone of all things. My old work iPad can't keep up. And we got a K turn. So one forward, we're going to clear some stress. And here come the IGs. One bank down. So got another bump from B back there. He's measuring that bump to see if he clips that rock. He looks like he's clear of the little rock there. So that works out. Alright, there's Poe bumps. Poe loses his shield for overflying that rock there. And he rolls 3 hits and gets away with 2. So IG-88B now is 1 in the hull.
So we have 3 hits onto the towel.
Alright, so A regen the shield now.
So A takes care of that towel on the back, so he's not going to get his range 1 shot into IG-88B. And B will then fire at Poe. Just 1 hit.
He takes 1 hit.
And he'll take 1. So it ends there. So not bad. So Poe now is down 2 shields. Looks like the towel at the left is firing into IG-88A on the right. He's going to spend his target lock. 2 hits. 2 evades. So no hits. And he rolls blanks. So puts 2 shields into A. And on to the next turn. Sorry for the untitled broadcast, everybody. The interface is a little wonky with me. It's not letting me rename it. Looks like we've got about 50 guys watching now. Is that right? I just saw a count. How many of you are watching this game? Yeah, Doug, this is... Both players deep in thought. Jesse, what's up? Okay, 37 right now.
The other one was a blinded pilot, or shaken pilot and blinded pilot. So the one flipped on the. Okay, part one, right? Yeah, make it a lot harder, especially if you're like headed towards the edge of the board.
Hey, Snavely, what's up? Both players deep in thought.
So if I can dig out fat and then run away.
Yeah, we were actually expecting this game a little bit later. But that's the vagaries of Cryodex. It gave it to us right away. Got a pretty good log jam over here at the top left of your screen, and both Paul and Doug really giving this one some thought.
Okay.
It's a Bob Randall.
It's a Bob Randall turn.
That turns I landed 2 guys on rocks and slowed.
It worked out. So, no, but hey, it happens. All right, so here we go. So what are our Talos doing? The left Talos going to 2 to the right. So he's going to try and leapfrog Poe and squeeze in to the left of that rock. And he should make it. Should be okay. Yep, there he goes. Squirts right into there. We'll set that other Talo down. And he's going to focus. I'll give you guys a quick damage readout here in just a second. And I think we got a 3 bank. No, another 2 turn. Same direction. Jumping right out in front of IG-88B on the left side of the screen there. That should work out fine. He does overfly a rock, so no actions. He's going to be rolling for damage here in a second. There's Paul's rock roll. And he's good. So no damage from the rock, but no actions. One forward, so we're gonna bump there. So a nice block. No actions from IG-88B, and he is 1 in to haul, and a 1 bank. So we're gonna get another bump. Yeah, it wouldn't have mattered. So he was just checking if he could have slewed, but he's gonna rock him instead. So that is a log jam. Remember, Poe is stressed here, so Poe's not going to be able to K-turn.
That mustache. It's the smallest rock. Has everyone landed on it. Unavoidable.
And he rolls up damage, so he takes a shield off A. And here comes Poe.
Unfortunately, I'm going to hit your guy before I hit my guy. I do get a shield back.
But R2-D2 gives him a shield back for Poe. 1 bank, bump, no action. Can't shoot. But IG-88A there is on a rock. IG-88B has no arc, so no shots. Just a big log jam. And we'll move on to another turn. And again, for those of you that this game's a little bumpy and laggy, don't worry about that. We'll be putting it up on my YouTube channel here a little later. It'll be much cleaner, and you can go through it at your leisure. So we try to get as clean a feed as we can during when it's running live, but if we can't, I'm recording it as well, so it'll also go up on YouTube later on and be plenty clear. Another big another turn where they're deep in thought. Yeah, Jesse, the router they use for the Wi-Fi connection for the employees is actually up on the other side of the wall, so it's a little dicey for me. But I think 4 or 5 different ships I think 4 or 5 different ships have actually landed on or overflown the tiny little mustache rock. And we've got IG-88A sitting on top of it right now. So that's been a thorn in the side of both players. All right, winding down the planning phase here. Doug's got one more dial in his hand. Yeah, it looks very similar to last turn. The big difference being that pretty much everybody managed to clear stress there, so there's a lot more options than were open going to that last turn, particularly relative to Poe. I've got to imagine Paul wants to get Poe clear and shooting, so we've got K turns from both players helping out. We're at 15 minutes, so they're trying to get these things done. They're both stressed. And we got a 3 turn, so he's going to be parked right in front of that right Tala. He's got him in arc. We'll put Mr. Dameron back. Two bank over. Does he bump himself? He does. So he bumps his own ship there. And he can't land because of Poe, so it looks like he's all the way back. Doesn't move.
I was cool either way. I was happy with him staying.
I think we'll see a straight up K turn here. Yep. So it's 4K from Poe. And he'll finally get back to putting some dice on B, who's down to 3 hulls. So I think Paul's back into a better position. And he's range 1 into IG-88B, who's down to 3 hull. And he rolls 2 hits. 1 evade, so he takes 1 damage. So IG-88B is down to 2. And both his ships, I think he's debating his targeting, but I assume he's going to. Okay, he's got his range 1 shot, primary weapon into his first Tala on the right. So he. All right, so he gets 1 crit through. Crit was damaged cockpit, but he does survive the exchange. And that's the end of that guy. Paul whiffs and loses Tala, and he regenerates a shield.
Which I could sorely use right now.
Last shot, Tala range 2 into IG-88B on the left. It'll be interesting to see what that 1 hit. Easily evaded, 2 evades. So back to the next turn. Be interesting to see what Paul tries to do with Poe to get guns on Doug for this next this next round of shooting.
Yeah, I'm curious how that looks.
Not sure Paul's got the room to block a straight up K turn from IG-80B on the left. Or a sloop, so I think each might work from IG-80B on the left side, but we'll see. So again, hello to everybody that's tuned in. We're wrapping up round 2. This is Paul Heaver and Doug Kinney playing at Games of Stuff in Glen Burnie, Maryland. So his Tal is a 2-turn. Keep the stress. And we get a sloop. And a 3 bank. So good guess from Paul. And he gets a bump.
Dash. God, it's so fast. It was dash versus the time.
And 1 forward, so this is the. Is he gonna clear it? He does. Okay, so this is the round of shooting he's been waiting for. He regens the shield. Focused range 1 shot into the back of B that's down a 2-hull. So he regen that 1 shield. He's down to 1 hull now. And we're checking arc. IG-88 has got a range 2 shot on his lone Tala there. That is at 100%. So he's undamaged. Hit crit. And Paul takes both his shields. And the target lock from FCS. And we got a range 2 shot back at A. Hit crit. And he takes the crit. Stunned pilot. So things seemed pretty desperate a minute ago, but they seem to be kind of working out. Paul very easily could have killed IG-88B there, but for the shield he regened when he popped that other Tala. And yes, Poe is at 100% after that R2 regen. So now we've got Poe with a little more space to maneuver here, so we can probably get guns on some ships here in a second. We'll see what Doug's going to do with these 2 IGs. Got to be concerned about Paul being able to get a PS kill on IG-88B, who's in dire straits, and IG-88A down to 3 hull with a stunned pilot. So a bump here would be problematic for IG-88A, as he'd now take damage.
turn from the Tala, and he keeps the stress. I think probably anticipating a K turn from IG88B. And we get a 3 bank from IG88A. And here comes our maneuver on B. Not a whole lot of time left, 3.5 minutes. So we're going to get this turn, maybe one more. And a 3 straight. So a bump. Doug was anticipating an attempt to block IG88A. He's going to put it into IG88B at range 1 with, looks like just focus. Takes 1 hit and he's cooked. So there goes IG88B. And so A is shooting back at Poe now. Target locks. And gets 2 hits. So he takes both. Both into shields. So Poe's at 1 shield. So now we've got a shieldless Tala that's stressed. We have Poe, 1 shield, no damage, and IG88A with 3 hull left. So coming down to the wire. We have 2 minutes left. All right, so quickly getting these maneuvers, try and get a K turn. Executes a straight maneuver, gets a shield back, and he's going to boost around. And he stays out of range. So next turn. I think we can. Not sure if we're going to see a run for Z Hills or a Talon roll, but he'd have to put 3 damage on him to kill him. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure Paul's going to be interested in trying to kill that IG. I think he's just going to bolt. We're at 46 seconds. Now, if he Talon rolled here, well, that would be a hell of a move. Now, he's going to boost around. And he clears it. Nice move from. And Paul K turns. And Poe's going to take a range 2 shot. 2 hits. And he whiffs. So he's down to 1 hull and he's shooting into the Tala. And that's the end, so this is it. 3 hits. And Tala dies. So I think the half-point rule gives Mr. Heaver the win. $75-62, so a 13-point win by Paul.
I will get them over here and let them explain how it went.
Pro Soul Survivor?
Wow. Well, no, actually he survived, but he had one hole left. So the half hole rule, he gets the win.
You guys want to talk about it real quick? All right, so Paul and Doug are keeping score. Paul gets a win, 13 points, thanks to the new half-point rule, by getting that IG in the hull. So he'll be right over. So here's Paul.
Hi.
And Paul and Doug Kinney, after a really interesting game where they got pretty jammed up and stayed that way up in the corner of the mat. But you know, I'll let you guys just talk about the game and how it went.
I think it went pretty well with me. My goal against double IGs, this is Paul by the way, is to block them with the Zs, have my A not get one shot on the first round, which that didn't work.
That might have helped.
And just be a nuisance. The A-wing is especially good at being a nuisance, but the Zs can kind of fill in at the blocking. But the A is usually perfect at blocking IGs.
Right.
And then have Poe try not to get shot by both guys at the same time, so that he can regen.
Yeah.
That mostly worked.
And my initial Alpha Strike, which is what the squad is built for, did kill the A-Wing, so there was at least one big nuisance off the board. But then I just kind of got trapped in the corner, and Paul was doing a good job of blocking me with his Zs, and I wasn't able to pull him off the board fast enough.
Once you guys got knotted up in the corner there, that became. I mean, you had a couple turns where nobody moved.
Yeah.
You had the one where
Yep.
nobody had shots and you had a bunch of stress, but then that next turn going in allowed you, Paul, to clear stress on Poe, even though he didn't move around, which let him get around and start getting shots on him. So that was your sort of plan there, was to make that Alpha Strike with glitter stem and crack shot,
Get something off the board.
Clear something off in one
and,
turn.
you know, as the targets were, you know, the A-Wing was the one, you know, like Paul said, that he would be the giant nuisance.
Sure.
So I wanted to get him off the board, and that's what I ended up doing. That's what the squad is built for, is pull something off the board first round. Because Poe didn't have a shot, so I wasn't gonna go after him, and the Talas aren't gonna damage me much generally. But so yeah, taking the A-Wing off worked, but then I just couldn't kill the Talas fast enough.
Well, you were getting a couple times it worked out pretty fortuitously with the shield regen.
Yeah.
On the IG ability.
Yeah, and if you think about it, look back at that game. How many times did I boost?
Right.
Rarely, right?
Right.
So C's ability wouldn't have kicked in at all.
Sure.
Whereas here, A's ability, you know, I regenerated the shield and it came into play.
Yeah.
Definitely. It saved you a crit once, and it saved a ship towards the end of the game.
Yeah.
B had one hull left. A is really good in the knife fight when everybody gets all clustered up and you're not going to be boosting anyway. And C is good kind of on that opening round when you might boost, or if you're trying to run away or something. But C, I think A is going to be a lot more useful in these 5-ship lists are going to be seen, and 6-ship lists, and
exactly.
things like that.
Because I agree with Paul. I mean, I think you're going to be seeing a lot more 4+ ship lists now, and I think A has a place in the meta, because one of the big counters to IGs is a swarm,
Right.
and you know, A is going to be better because, you know, like Paul said, you're going to be all blocked up. You're not going to be able to boost. You're not going to be able to use C's ability at all. Whereas A's ability at least can come into play, and with the half-point rule, you know, maybe it makes a difference, and it did in this game.
Yeah, sure. It was a great game. Who brought the mustache?
I did.
Who brought the teeny rock that you guys flew over or landed on 4 or 5 times?
Yeah, like every round, somebody was on it for like 4 straight rounds.
Well, my whole plan is to, against IGs, make that little line of rocks and then fight near there. Like, fly as fast as possible to get over there, and whichever IG you have on your side of the board, because you're going to split so that one's on your half of the board and one's on my half.
Yeah.
Whichever one's on your half, whichever one it was, I didn't care if it was A or B, I was going to try to pounce on that with rocks on one side and the edges on the other two. So he's in like this annoying little peninsula that he can't get out. So
All right. Well, certainly an awesome game. Is this? You guys think this is close to what you'll be flying next month?
Who knows?
Not sure.
If I fly Rebels, which I probably am, this stands a very good chance of being the Rebel list that I would fly.
Nice.
Otherwise, it's Sinterfell all the way.
Nice.
Now, up until this weekend, I've been flying a Z-Swarm, and I just found out that it's not working as well for me as I would have thought or
Yeah.
would have liked. So I got creamed by this list on Vassal one time, and I thought, you know, that's pretty good. But actually, he ran B and C, and I think B and A is better. So I ran B and A today with the crack shot and the glitter stem for the Alpha Strike.
Yeah, I'd not seen that. That was kind of a neat employment of that.
Crack shot's a really underrated card. Like, you don't have too many people like saying, "Oh, crack shot's the best thing ever," but it's really good. It's a guaranteed point of damage for one.
Right.
And so it was an interesting game in the cluster over there. Saw some neat things. Saw the interesting use of glitter stem crack shot in the Alpha.
My Talon roll did not work at all.
No, that was an unfortunate bump with the Talon roll. I thought you were clear.
It was going to be fine if the Tala made it past the other guy.
Yeah.
Right.
I was sure he was going to make that.
All right, well, we'll wrap it up.
Okay. Yeah, time for lunch.
Thanks, guys. Lunchtime. So, thanks for all you guys tuning. I know the half-point rule. It's kind of poetic that that jumped in and sorted things out in this one, because that was definitely the difference. Would have been would that have been a mod win or a straight win?
It would have been a 12-point win for
12-point win, so it would have been a full win the other way. All right, so yeah, because of you got into Hull. All right, so thanks for tuning in, guys. We'll be back with round 3 in just a little bit, and I'll have this up on YouTube for everybody this evening.
Because of the half hole rule. Because of the half hole?